Okay, it's Wednesday, so two things in the gaming news world I wanted to talk about this week. The first involves Borderlands 4, and basically all the stuff floating around Borderlands 4. Lots of conversation out there, and a lot of it centered around performance. It wouldn't be a big AAA game launch without performance concerns, of course. When it first launched late last week, the biggest point of conversation immediately was PC performance, with a lot of people reporting issues, all kinds of issues, and seemingly just pointing to the fact that the game seems poorly optimized, from crashes to just really struggling to get it running on pretty modest PCs. All types of people had issues, and everybody, like usual, will express frustration with that fact. You saw it reflected in online, on social media, but of course, the holy thing, Steam reviews. A lot of people mentioning it. Now, I did first impressions. I did the before you buy quick look on game ranks, and in my experience, I had minimal issues. I know I'm not the only one. I have spoken to other people that have had an okay time running it. I had to tweak some settings and stuff like that, but this is how it goes. Everybody's machine is different. There are different variables, and what can work with that best is a properly optimized game, which it seems like for a lot of people, it's just not the case with Borderlands. Not to mention the fact that the console version doesn't have an FOV slider, which I think is really annoying, but now reports are coming out that seemingly the PS5 version is having issues. People are pointing to the fact that it might have a memory leak because the fact that the performance gets worse and worse the more you play. With officials from Borderlands and a lot of people online just realizing that if you quit the game, completely restart everything, and fire it back up, that will fix the issue, leading to, yes, it could definitely, that's probably a memory leak. We've seen it a lot. We've seen it with Bethesda games. It happens. But performance stuff, I think, is interesting here because Borderlands, in some ways, maybe got a little cocky because they launched early. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the game had a set release date, and then they came out and said, hey guys, guess what? Since everything's so great, we're actually going to release it a little bit earlier. That was announced a few months back, and now here we are, and it seems like the game might be a little undercooked. Now, again, for me personally, I can only be honest and speak to my own experience. I didn't have issues on PC. I was running it on a 4090, so I mean, there's that. But even still, I've seen reports of people with graphics cards that good and even better that have been having issues. So I can't just boil it down to just my experience. And all that aside, I will point out that, like, from what I've played so far, and I'm looking forward to jumping into more, but I'm also reviewing two games right now that I can't talk about yet. But in between that, playing Borderlands, I found it fun. I found it good. Solid gunplay right off the bat, good controls, good updates to the Borderlands movement and shooting formula. The open world stuff was really working for me because I found side objectives and bounties and side quests that were actually interesting. And the game very early, very consistently is giving you good and interesting weapons and reasons to look for more. They definitely toned down some of the obnoxious in your face cringy humor, which I never had an issue except for Borderlands 3 just because I found it ineffective. I didn't find it good, specifically with those bosses and stuff. Now here you have a little bit more of an interesting, cooler, more imposing boss and humor that actually got some chuckles out of me, I'm not gonna lie. Hopping in with a friend, I didn't have any server issues or anything like that, but I mostly played solo because that's just what I do. So far, so all right. It's just the technical stuff, which I hope can be fixed. It is often fixed. It's not always fixed, but usually fixed. And of course, then there's the whole head of Gearbox, the developer of Borderlands, Randy Pitchford, saying stuff online, which I don't like to make full videos just talking about one individual. As a higher up company, like head guy, head honcho, head boss, the face of it all, I don't think he should be coming out here and doing this much tweeting, posting, whatever you want to call it. Look, because it's like a lose-lose situation. I think the best situation was here is not start off with the quote, every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. Okay, sure, but a lot of the stuff he came out and said, I get it. You can speak your mind, stand up for yourself, stand up for the thing you made, the product you're selling, the people who built that product. But I think at a point, it's kind of a losing battle. The more you put out there, the more you try and say, people always look at it and say, it's a crash out, as the kids say, or whatever, a spiral. And it's so up and down, bipolar, whatever you want to call it, just because One tweet will read as being extremely defensive. One will seem as positive and in the right place. Honestly, too many tweets. And I say all that specifically because like you are out there, you're trying to sell a product. So I don't know. I just wouldn't be out there kind of rubbing people the wrong way, even if some of your intentions are pure. Some may not appear pure from the tweeting, because again, if you tweet too much, it's just like if you post too much online, something's going to blow up in your face. It's just how it goes. The more you talk, the more trouble it is. Hey, next up, let me tell you about the sponsor of this video. It's Factor. If you're new around here, Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. These bad boys are delicious and good to go in the microwave in like 2 minutes and you're set. For me, this has been great because I work constantly. Even if I wasn't working, I'd just be gaming. So my priorities lie with that. So with Factor, I don't waste time at the grocery store or planning meal prep or anything like that. I just have these. They're good to go. They're delicious. They offer a ton of different varieties: vegan, chef's choice, calorie smart, keto, a bunch of add-ons options for every type of diet, plus a lot of fun add-ons like smoothies and juices. Factor really can just have you covered, and it's so simple. You can choose how many meals are sent to you, so there's no fuss, no muss, and that's the biggest thing here. What am I eating today? I am eating potato leek mash and grilled chicken. Again, simple, good, delicious, and you're good to go. So if you want to check this out, all you got to do is click the link in the description down below or head to factor75.com, and when you're there, use code ONJAKEFB50 for 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Again, that's code ONJAKEFB50 for 50% off plus free breakfast for 1 year. Link below, check it out, and big thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now, where was I? But again, I think the bottom line, and I've seen a lot of people say this sentiment, and I totally agree with it, is like, stop ranting and posting and tweeting and trying to correct people. And even if he's coming with receipts, again, it's like you're arguing against the void. It's not worth it. Instead of doing all that, put the phone down and get to work fixing it. That's all people want, because honestly, at the end of the day, you don't need to tweet all this because a game can be saved. We've seen games launch with everybody hating on it, everybody shitting on the performance, and then things are turned around. It's happened so many times before, and not even just performance. Some games have launched as just content bare bad games and then ended up being fixed. So people want to see that. People believe that can happen, and they can believe it more if you stop yapping and just say, hey, acknowledged, we're working on it. Hey, submit feedback here. Hey, here's a quick update. Here's a quick patch fix. Here's a quick recommendation. That's it. And not walls of text. The meme of me just being like, understandable, have a great day, I'm not reading all that. Now, I say all that, I am not in any position of power or leadership or selling anything. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. Sorry, that's the second Jay-Z quote in a week if you watch Game Ranks. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Hopefully they fix the game. I'd like to see them do that. If you're playing the game and it's running fine for you, great. Hope you're having fun. If you're not, I hope they fix it for you. Of course, refunds are a thing. So just either way, gonna be curious to see how this actually goes. What do you think? Are you playing and not having any issues? Are you on console and are you happy? Are you having the memory leaks? Are you on PC and you're fine? Or are you on PC and it's a disaster? I want to stress everybody has their own experience. So let me know yours in the comments. Is this a mountain out of a molehill? Or is this something that is just another symptom of bad AAA stuff? Let's talk. Again, welcome to Two Things, where I talk about two things in the gaming news world. News stories I want to dive into specifically. On Game Ranks, on the Friday news show, I'll give you all the news. Here, I drill into stuff I find interesting or stuff I really want to talk about more. The other bit of news this week is Assassin's Creed Black Flag once again popping up in the news. Rumor mill stuff, essentially a leaker suggesting some new details about this game. Now, this Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake, whatever, has been in the conversation and leaked and rumored and actually kind of low-key confirmed by Ubisoft for a while now. I believe since 2023. And I've been paying attention to this because I really like Black Flag. I think AC4 is one of my favorites. I played that game top to bottom, like almost 100%. I was absolutely obsessed with it. I also liked AC Rogue as well. Not enough people talk about that. But now here we have, the age of remakes and re-releases. Obviously, a lot of game companies are playing it safe and trying to bring out their best shit again and repackage it, represent it to people because it worked once, so they're hoping it works again. And I guess they're looking at Assassin's Creed Black Flag as one of their best things, and they're putting it out again. Regardless, the new news suggests a couple of interesting things. According to French gaming news outlet Jeux Vidéo Magazine, if I'm pronouncing that right, said that they are completely removing the modern day story sections and replacing them with more narrative for protagonist Edward Kenway. That's the first part. And I will say two things. I think Edward Kenway's story could use a little bit more narrative. It was very simple. So there is totally room there to fill in the blanks, add more. I like when games do this. I like when the Silent Hill 2 remake trickled in a couple of little extra things here and there. But also, removing the modern day story sections, I actually think is a missed opportunity because that was in the period where Assassin's Creed was kind of really struggling with what to do after Desmond Miles. And apologies for a second. Like, I really love Assassin's Creed. I know I bitch a lot about Assassin's Creed, but I love it. I'm wearing this. This is from Volante Design. This is a hoodie that I got specifically because it makes me look and feel like an assassin. This isn't sponsored or anything. This is just, I just love Assassin's Creed. So, where was I? Yeah, the modern day thing in Black Flag was so interesting, right? Because it was first person. It was very simple. You were barely even a character. You were experiencing a version of Abstergo through someone's eyes, through a vessel. And it was Abstergo and, by association, Templars in a video game development studio, using Animus technology to create video games and experiences, and just kind of how that all tied in with like the actual worlds you were visiting, like Black Flag. I just thought it was cool. It had very light commentary on the video game design world, the video game industry world, and honestly, if anything, they could have had even more fun with that. A remake or whatever could have really played around in the mud even more with some of that. Have even more commentary on video games, remakes, exclusive, whatever, the business. And for them to ditch that, if this rumor is legit, we don't know. I don't know. I think that sucked because I thought that was an interesting part of that game. Again, I'm the weirdo who liked all the modern day sections and always roots for them to keep trying. Even though at this point it's so bad, I think they should pack it in and completely start fresh. I like and I think of Assassin's Creed as the modern and the past, you know? The other thing that comes from this rumor is that gameplay will, according to Push Square, gameplay will supposedly be more like recent Assassin's Creed titles, with RPG elements added along with loot drops and gear stats for Edward's weapons and armor. Apparently, the explorable map isn't going to be any bigger or anything like that, but they're just going to be adding more to do. More to do is great. Modern Assassin's Creed RPG stuff, I don't know. I think it's in danger of feeling tacked on. That game had decent progression with like crafting, carrying capacity, and the hunting and stuff like that. Apparently, they're going for more wildlife, more stuff like that. But I don't know. The combat definitely could use a little more. I think they could definitely juice it up. Full RPG like, I don't know if I necessarily need that. Honestly, this aside, I know people are tired of like the remakes and remasters, re-releases. I didn't necessarily think this game needed to be remade because yes, the very basic, very easy combat aside, I just still think it's a damn good game despite little dated issues. I would have been happy with an HD re-release or like a cleaned up little thing like that. But look, as much as I don't think this was needed, the one positive I can say is that maybe Ubisoft is like, hey man, we really should angle into the pirate thing. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it because I've been a YouTuber for so long. I've been saying it since like Black Flag came out. They should have spun off into a separate thing with that Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag pirate formula, you know, the architecture they built, and call it Pirates Creed, and then just make Pirates Creed games. And I would have been hooked because I still think there aren't enough pirate games, especially not pirate games that are single player experiences, God damn it. So I think after Skull and Bones and them trying to do that, maybe they still want some pirate action and they're looking at Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Remake and where they can go from there. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Maybe I'm being completely naive, unrealistic. I don't know. But I just want more pirate games. I don't need Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remade. I'd actually rather have Assassin's Creed Black Flag 2. Or again, Pirates Creed. I want to copyright that. That's my idea, damn it. But that's the stuff I wanted to talk about this week. We're keeping it pretty light, other than like Randy Pitchford's tweet fest. Look, let me know what you think about this stuff. Hit me up what you think about, like, if you have feelings about Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4. I love it. I actually started replaying it recently, and again, it has its issues. Did I need a whole remake? No, I'd rather a new thing. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think, again, like I asked before, your experience with Borderlands, anything at all. Hit me up. Of course, you can always find me on all the social medias at Jake Baldino, including my favorites, Instagram and Letterboxd. I'm boring, but yeah, hit me up. Thank you for watching. If you get what I'm trying to do here, I'm just talking about stuff I love, stuff I like, stuff I find interesting. Clicking the like button helps me out. I appreciate it, but that's it. I'm Jake Baldino. Subscribe because video games, pizza's on me.